Hey YouTube, what's up? Uh, Today we are going to be ranking the compatibility of the INTJ and other personality types. So before we start, I just want to get this out of the way and clarify something. I'm going to be doing Myers-Briggs videos, so if you're here in search of great Myers-Briggs content for utilization in how it can be applicable to your own life, then I am here for that, 100%. So yeah, just wanted to say that if you're into Myers-Briggs, this channel's for you. Skip the other stupid videos though. If it has MBTI in the title, click on that one. Anyway, yeah, so let's go through the tiers. So on top, this is the most compatible with INTJ, the one that they are going to coincide and get along with the best. And that is make a Jordan Peterson cry. Jordan Peterson cries a lot and he's an INTJ. So that's why that makes sense. And then we have you're not human, so let's be friends, because all INTJs are actually aliens in disguise as people. So, if they meet a fellow alien, they're probably going to want to get along with them. Then we're kind of vibing, so we can kind of get along. So this is still pretty, a pretty high bracket for an INTJ because, again, they're not human. So if you can get along with an alien, you must be somewhat special to them. I like you just fine. Someone else made this tier list and I just didn't change that. It should be like I kind of almost like you just fine for an INTJ, but we'll keep it as that. And then at the bottom we have Wednesday Addams Fury mode. This is the bracket in which INTJs just don't get along with. They aren't going to like at all, which is going to be a lot of the personality types. So before we start, let's just knock off a few. Oh yeah, okay, now we can start the video. So, ENFJ, where do we put you? We're kind of vibing. Okay, so romantic compatibility with an ENFJ. It's not going to be great. They're going to be able to make amicable friends because ENFJs are sweet people and they do value NI. So they can get along quite well in social dynamics. But one thing that's going to sort of irritate the INTJ is FE, and that's going to be a reoccurring thing. You see, INTJs are very blunt people. They have FE blind spot, so they're not going to really like the ENTJ or ENFJ too much, but they will get along with them. What else? ENFJs, they have third spot SE, which INTJs are going to sort of look up to. They might see ENTJs as just these zealous balls of charisma that they just really can't relate to sometimes, but they're going to like them. A relationship between them would be quite impossible, though, because a INTJ is looking for someone who just doesn't have what they have. So ENFJ is just going to constantly people please people, and it's going to be very hard for them with FE to please the INTJ. Who will we do next? An INFJ. They're going to be very high on this list because INFJs are also aliens. INFJs are very sweet people, and they do have a high FI. So, but they just don't really use it too much, only for selfish intent a lot of the time. That's something you'll see with INFJs. Because something with INTJs is they very much respect people with FI. So they both have NI as their dominant function, so they'll be able to relate to each other in that sort of, what's the word? Epistemological type of way of viewing the world. They're both very, very intuitive, very mysterious, and they'll get each other. But A relationship also might not be possible with them. INTJs are very hard to be in a relationship with. What else? Next. The exec. This is the ENTJ. It's one of these two. I'm going to put them here, though. So, romantic compatibility-wise, they're going to do great. Actually, they're going to get a lot of shit done. You have TE very highly valued on both of them, or in a very high position. With the INTJ, it's in rational position, so it isn't their first most valued function, but it sees the world in a very well, they want to aspire to their aspirations, but in a logical way is the best way to put it. Whilst ENTJs, their aspirations are out of this world with logic, and then they ground them with their NI. So there's that. They're also going to be very emotionally compatible in some ways as well. They're not going to talk about emotions too much. ENTJs don't like that. INTJs don't like that so much unless there's other types that can bring it out of them, which we'll get to. But yeah, they'll do just fine. They'll fare very well. The only problem, really, that I see contention with is the fact that INTJs and ENTJs are so vastly similar. If we're to look at a dynamic like this, it's more like a black circle opposed to a yin and yang symbol. You know, so there isn't much balance there. It's almost like we're so similar, let's just go do our own things and not talk. But again, they're going to get along just fine. ESFJ, yeah, we don't need to talk about that one either. Other INTJs, here as well, for the same reasons here. Another problem, since we're kind of out of the bracket of just friend zoned, if you are to come into another INTJ, people with very high NI, there's something called NI controlling, and INTJs do that with other personality types. It's hard for them to be in a relationship with other dominant NI users because they both have a vision of the world, and if those visions don't coincide with each other, then they're never going to match. INTJs see very far into the future. They have a direct singular vision of the future, and another INTJ will have that same thing, which isn't a problem, but there's going to be issues that ensue in that relationship. So, yes. INTJs are still pretty high, though, because they are similar and can get along very well, and they also can connect emotionally with FI. Both have strong moral values, so on and so forth. This is INFP, and they're pretty high as well. So with an INFP, they are going to be able to connect emotionally with the INTJ because they both have FI, and they're going to bring out different parts of each other. There's no NI problem here with these guys. So the NI dynamic is going to work superfluously. It'll work better than you can imagine because there's no NI. It isn't as good as the NE DOMs because they have higher, because INFPs have higher valued NI than the ENFPs and ENTPs. So, but it'll work fine. The problems here are inferior TE, which might get annoying for the INTJ, and dominant FI, which might get too hard to take for the INTJ. But apart from that, they'll have a fun time together. A very creative personality type with a insight to beauty in the world that the INTJ doesn't have that they will appreciate. ISTP, they're going here. So they're going to find INTJs are going to find solace in the NI that a ISTP provides for them. It's in a child position, it's not taken too seriously, but they can understand where the INTJ is coming from. They're also very logical and practical people, which a INTJ is going to like and appreciate. They have SE as well, so they'll look up to the ESTP in that regard as far as taking action, being spontaneous in the moment, experiencing things. But it's not annoying like these guys because their SE is in more of a protective position in auxiliary. So they will very much like the ISTPs. ISTJ, where do we put you? I think here as well. Yeah, so ISTJs have inferior NE, so they're not intuitive, but they are rather practical and logical and goal-oriented, much like the INTJ. There's not going to be that same problem with being an NI dom, but there is going to be an issue as far as they will just sit together and do nothing. They will sit together in silence and no one will take action. There isn't that yin and yang there. They might be able to connect emotionally, but it isn't something that they'll really even want. Either one will want to initiate. So, it isn't the best relationship, but it works, I guess, when an INTJ looks for utility in other personality types. This is one that they can utilize very well. ISFP is also going here for the same reasons almost as the ISTP. The difference being that they have the same. It's almost like there's one good thing about this one and one bad thing, and then one good thing about this one and one bad thing. But the good thing about this one is they have FI, strong morals, and authenticity, which the INTJ respects the fuck out of, and but their problem is inferior TE that can get annoying sometimes if the INTJ doesn't want to constantly take care of that. And also kowtowing to their feelings, because with an ISFP, you can say one thing to them and they will just explode sometimes if they really care about you. So that is going to be an issue. So yeah, we're kind of vibing. It can work possibly, but it'll take work. And with the ISTP, they're very logical, pragmatic, but they don't have any FI, so an emotional connection is something that's going to be hard if they don't build a lot of experiences up with SE. The INTP is going up here. This is a pretty good personality type for the INTJ. It's not perfect, but it can work as well. The emotional connection is going to be pretty hard there, considering that they don't share SE experience. They don't want to experience things with INTJ via SE, and their NE isn't completely earth-shattering, so it isn't going to constantly want to do these irrational things that would amount to something like SE, like these guys would. So with the INTP, they're going to connect very intellectually. They're going to have a lot of intellectually curious conversations. They're going to enjoy their time together. They're going to enjoy chilling. They're going to enjoy pretty much anything because they have vastly different insights onto things, but they're both very intelligent, usually. Then we have ENTP, and I don't know if I should put them here or here. I think I'll put them here. So with the ENTP, yes, this is a great pairing for the INTJ. Not perfect, but it's a great pairing, and here's why. So with NI and NE, they work matrimoniously, and so do inferior SI and SE. Now, why is this? It's because INTJs They want to experience things with SE, and they also have irrational intuition. So they want to explore, they want to learn things, they want to understand things. With their SE, they want to build experiences that they can compare to when constructing their new plan with their NI. And ENTPs, they just want to do everything with NE. It's like, I want to go do this, I want to go do this, I want to go do this. Which they're both going to like. So they're both going to have a fun time. It's not going to be ever going to be boring, because ENTPs are great communicators and will constantly keep a conversation flowing. And yeah, they'll be able to bounce ideas, and ENTP is pretty good at really kowtowing to however the INTJ feels at any given moment as far as the conversation goes and experiences go. And the only issue here is because, yes, they will connect logically. They are each other's shadow functions, of course. The only thing here is when you're talking about an INTJ, a part of them does value a serious emotional connection to someone. They're not going to say it ever, but having someone that they can plan with and construct a plan with and keep for their whole lives is really what they're looking for. And the issue with ENTPs is their least valued function is FI, which basically means that the INTJ will still like them a lot, will still understand them, but there'll be that lack of authenticity that a lot of ENTPs have with their character. But again, their SI and SE work together, building memories, building experiences to collect those memories off of. And yes, so a very good connection. Irrational intuitions, all irrational intuitives go together very well. But then we have the ENFP, which is basically everything I said so far. I'll talk about the possible problems if I can think of any. So they have all of the same attributes of the ENFP, but they have a something that the ENTPs don't. And that is the same stress functions as the INTJ. So those same stress functions being FI in auxiliary and TE in tertiary position. So the INTJ is not really going to want to get too emotional. But the ENFP over here doesn't have dominant FI, so it's not going to be invasive or intruding. I've heard INTJs say that ENFPs are the only personality type that they feel like they can be emotional to without sounding stupid, and that makes a lot of sense because ENFPs value their TE a lot of the time more than their FI, because their NE is constantly conjuring new ideas, constantly sparking them to use their TE with the willpower of the FI in the middle. So they're going to be able to connect intellectually, of course, because they are irrational intuitives. It's not going to be too much of a, what do you call it? It's not going to be too much of a outwardly emotional relationship as well. That might be a problem with the ENTP as well, because they express their emotions on the spot. ENFPs are a lot more, keep a lot of their emotions to themselves. They also just like each other. There's been a lot of shows about INTJ and ENFP, because in those shows, the INTJ is, the Wednesday Addams, and the ENFP comes along, and it's just this radiant ball of sunshine for the INTJ that they didn't know they needed. And, yes. So, what else about the ENFP? What was I going to say? So the authenticity is there, the intellectual stimulation is there, the yin and yang is there, the building experiences with irrational intuition, the conversations are there, the humor is there, it won't get boring like the ISTJ, and they sort of bring out the best in each other as well. That's why they're called the golden pair. Because the INTJ will push the ENFP to amount to their goals, because ENFPs can have a million different ideas and not do shit, and INTJ will be like, do this shit. And then the ENFP will look at INTJ as this sort of like cute person that just doesn't want to, let their emotions out. So, yes. Yes. Do I like this list? I can probably do this. Just to fill it in a little bit. Anything else about these guys? I don't think so. Just double checking here. Yep, this looks good. This looks great. We don't need to talk about these guys because an INTJ might be planning to kill them right now. So yeah, this is the list. If you guys want more Myers-Briggs videos and stuff like this, I will be making them again. I have to download some software, but there is some things that I'd like to say about Myers-Briggs that I think will be very insightful. Personally, I don't think there are many channels that have done, I haven't been able to find any, that have done exactly what I want to do. But this was just kind of for fun. I think I want to make a tier list for all of the MBTI, but we're starting off with the hardest. So it should get easier from here. And also, if you're just the one viewer I have, I just want to say thank you very much. My content will get better over time, and yeah, I'm constantly improving. Anyway, have a good day.